Good morning from MilAM in Tampa, Florida. I'm here today with Lieutenant General Mark Simerly of the Defense Logistics Agency. He came off the stage a little bit ago, and we're excited to have him in the chair here to talk about the challenges associated with his new role. So, talk to me a little bit about your background and why you wanted to come here to MilAM today.
Well, Kimberly, thanks for the opportunity to communicate with your audience and have this interview. And I really enjoyed the fireside chat that we had earlier today with a chance to talk about Defense Logistics Agency's role in advancing readiness and specifically advanced manufacturing and additive manufacturing. It's a really important component that DLA plays in overall service readiness, and then in the specific problem and solution that we have with advanced manufacturing. So the reason why I want to come here and talk about it is to help people understand how to better partner with DLA. One of our biggest vulnerabilities in DLA is a lack of understanding of how we operate and what the opportunity is to work with us to solve problems. So it's part of my responsibility to communicate that.
Well, we know that there's a mantra in DLA, right? Or maybe it's the overall Department of War. If we can't make it, you can't have it, right? But if you can't move it, you can't have it either. And so the DLA has been instrumental in the history of our country as being the place where you can get things done and things moved around. And so it's still important. It's never been more important. And I think some would say it's probably one of the most important functions that we serve as in our nation across the world. So I'm glad that you're here, and we've seen this technology called additive manufacturing, and we're here in this exhibit hall with the community intact, many of whom came to see you. You know, we've got to get this technology in use, and there's some significant institutional barriers to that. And DLA has done some things over the last 14 years. The Institute has been around that I've been privy to, but I'd love to see where you are now. You've just come off the stage. Talk to me about what's top of mind for you.
Well, I think it's a really important point. Understand the importance of what DLA does. And I'm a bit biased as a sustainer logistician,
Yes.
but I think it's a critical warfighting function that we have to ensure is integrated if it's going to produce the readiness effects that it needs to. I would say that you can't be lethal without logistics. And that's why our role is so important, and our responsibilities and our mission are things that we take so seriously. And, we're the nation's logistics combat support agency with an emphasis on combat support. That's why we exist, is generate that combat readiness so our warfighters can be victorious in the fight. So that's really what underlies everything that we do, that understanding. And it really drives our workforce towards a level of integration that we know is necessary for us to be effective. It's especially true when it comes to additive manufacturing and advanced manufacturing. We don't print things, but we take actions that can cause people to print things, and we need to expand to opportunities where more and more things are printed that drive readiness. So I would describe our role in advanced manufacturing primarily as an integrator. And by that I mean this focus on data. Part of that is about the DLA's data environment and what we're doing there to modernize it, which I think we're at a very transformational point, as is everybody in the department, right? Each service, each COCOM, they're going through deep transformation cycles.
Yes.
We are too. And a large part of that is our digital ecosystem that allows us to be connected end to end, to be able to optimize decision making, to be able, through digital twins, to really pressure test our capabilities against a variety of conditions, including large-scale combat operations, so we can truly understand where we've got holes in our swing, where we need to reinforce success, and where we need to fill gaps in our capabilities overall. So this digital environment, I think, is a really important aspect of understanding how we see solutions and the challenge with the opportunities of advanced manufacturing.
Well, I know you have so many people working on this challenge, and we've worked with them over the years. JAMA and JAMX are some of the efforts underway and maturing that have matured over the time period. And, it's not an easy task to say yes to something so new and somewhat untested. But I think at this moment, we're seeing some movement. We're seeing some confidence in the technology and the parts that it produces.
Yeah.
And yet, we still aren't where you would like us to be. So can you help us understand how we can support that as a community?
Yeah, so going back to your last point about JAMX and JAMA,
Yes.
two things. One is about data sharing, so having a secure environment where we can share
Yes.
formatted data to the services and be able to capture all the services inventories as well in their repositories, so it's commonly accessible. Again, in a secure environment. And then JAMA, which is a Joint Additive Manufacturing Acceptability,
Yes.
is a project to ensure that we have the right technical standards and data formatting standards that allow that data to be accessed, to be shared,
Yes.
and at the end of the day produce a printed part. So we play a leading role in establishing those capabilities, and I think that's a foundational aspect of the opportunity that we see today. But to your bigger point, I think we all agree that there's a lot of unrealized potential in this area.
Yes.
And nobody, I think, is satisfied with the rate of progress that we're making. Certainly true within DLA. I know it's true with all my counterparts in the services and service leadership across the department. So we do need to accelerate our pace. And I do think that, the data aspect is a part of that, right? So we have to be better connected. The data has to be better protected. And we have to be
Yes.
faster and smarter in the ways that we apply it to our solution sets. I also think we need to have stronger relationships and stronger integration with industry writ large, because we know there are best technologies, best practices that are emerging there that we have not determined how to tap into to expand our full potential, both in the organic industrial base within a department,
Yeah.
but also the great potential of our commercial partners to help us produce at scale and with a level of pace that really answers some of our readiness challenges writ large. At root of that is really this question, I'd say two questions: quality assurance
Yes. Quality.
and technical data. So on the quality assurance side is, we have to make some determinations in the department of how we're going to measure risk and speed the quality and engineering review processes, which are costly, lengthy in terms of time, and quite frankly, for DLA, I think probably one of the most frustrating things that we watch
Absolutely.
that impedes our progress.
Absolutely.
So I think we have
No,
to
that's
fundamentally review how we're organized to do that, and we see the same impediments in each service, and certainly with DLA requirements as well. So some of it is the way we're organized, some of it is the way that we're resourcing that function, which is a critical function.
It is.
And some of it is the way that we prioritize that effort. So I noted earlier today that in each service, the engineering community, rightfully so, is prioritized by the acquisition community,
Yes.
not the material readiness community.
Yes.
And so I think we have to align those communities together more effectively if we're going to produce the level of speed and change that we need.
That's a really great idea. And there's different ways to align them, of course. But I think the basic infrastructure of the way we approach it has to be considered. And I like exactly what you said. So there's also some education and training that would happen at the acquisition level, right? With the people who are doing the work for you, and
Absolutely.
they have to understand the value so that they can not say no, so that yes is easier than no, and it's not taking anything away from them. Lives are on the line. They want to make sure it works. But how we have to figure out how to get there, and I think maybe this alignment strategy you're talking about could go a long way.
Yeah, and this is not an attack on the engineering community. I mean, they're doing what we've asked them to do. They're doing what we require them to do by regulation, by
Yes.
law, all those other
There's a
aspects.
translational layer
So
that's not
absolutely,
being
and a
taken
lot of
care
it's
of.
just
Yeah.
our institutional risk avoidance.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that this is we're
Yes.
fundamentally we really have to look at how we're organizing. And a comment I made earlier today was, I think we're still taking a legacy approach and seeing printing as the at the end of our process, rather than envisioning it and re-engineering everything from the
To
beginning,
the
from
beginning.
our acquisition strategies forward, which is in part why we have this question about um, right to repair, access to data, those sorts of things,
All of those things.
because they're coming in as questions, even demands, after acquisition strategy and contracts have been set. And so the compensation model,
Yeah.
the value, isn't evident and in place. And so we have to reconsider and restructure
Well, the business
our
case
options, the business case.
would not be there if you're doing it at the back end. It would be
Exactly.
like, why are we doing it like this? So
Exactly.
agree completely
It's
with
even
that.
I would say it's a cultural change
Yes,
that we
yes.
have to understand in terms of this community. But it is my ask to industry: help us figure out how we can do this.
Well,
in
I'm
terms of
glad you
having
said
acts.
that because America Makes, we have just had a workshop at the end of October with our supply chain working group. We asked the top prime defense contractors, okay, you're making these different platforms, and it consists of parts and materials and processes and qualifications and all that. Some of you are using suppliers, some of you are doing it yourself. So what we're attempting to do with them is untangle that so we can come up with a demand signal. Because I know it's very difficult for the DLA to do that writ large. And it's certainly not happening at the Department of War level at a scale and an intensity that would create that signal to the industry and the investment community to lean in on this. It's not happening, right? So, for example, when the DLA put out a couple of different solicitations, they were nice sized solicitations for additively made parts. It was very well crafted. The team had taken a lot of care. And then we didn't have bidding on that particular part. Or when we had it, we found out later they weren't qualified in a certain certification standard. So we're having that challenge. We want to fix all that. So it's so much more than just you and your team. It's the overall industrial base and their ability to engage with you in a meaningful way.
This has to be an enterprise approach.
Yes.
Right. Services are not going to be able to solve this independently. And at the Department of War level, to include DLA, we're not going to develop solutions independently either. And we're never going to do it separate from industry. So I think we have to find ways to accelerate our level of integration
Yes.
in our planning in order to do
Yes.
this. Events like this really help us do that. Very grateful for this venue, this forum, the fact that we're bringing together so many experts in industry and also in government to solve the problems. But
Yes.
I think this one of my key points is on this integration function that DLA has. It's going to be a joint solution, and it's going to be executed and resourced primarily by the services, but there has to be a level of orchestration that doesn't exist right now.
Well, then I commit to you at the America Makes level that we will support you and your team to make that happen. We are motivated, we are ready, and I think all the people are in place to do so. So thank you so much for being in the chair today, for allowing our live audience to hear your words, those who couldn't be here, and just know we have an absolute commitment to support you in this. And thanks for taking your time.
Kimberly, thank you. Thanks for your time, and thanks to all your members in the audience for helping us solve this big problem.
Awesome. Well, good luck at the rest of the show. I hope you're going to stick around a little bit.
Of course.
And I hope we are having a different conversation next year.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kimberly.